Alright, what's going on everyone? As you probably saw in the title, we're going to be buffing this thing today and probably tomorrow, because it'll probably take 2 days. But the reason I wanted to do this is because the paint is really dull. I'll flip the camera around here in a second and show you guys exactly what it looks like. It's pretty dull and it's pretty flat. There is 3 coats of paint on here, we think. There's this top layer orange, then there's like a purple underneath, and then the original orange, which is obviously 2 layers underneath. And this has been sitting in New Mexico sun for, last registered in like 2005, so it's probably been sitting for 15 years or so, and it's pretty faded. I'm not the biggest fan of it, and it looks really neat when I wash it and water gets on it. It looks really cool. So I went back and forth about, clearing it and buffing it. Well, there's a couple things on the body that still need to be done. I'm not sure if I want to fix some of these dents up here or not yet. There's some Bondo here and there that needs to be fixed. Very minimal stuff on the front fenders. And then the cowl, I'd like to replace that at some point because it looks like someone cut one out of another car and then sort of welded / riveted in another one here. I don't know, it's weird. So if I like the way it looks after buffing it, I'll probably clear it down the road someday. But I figure now this is just a cheap and simple way to get the shine and finish I want. So here you can clearly see the 3 layers of paint. We got the original orange, which is down there. We got this purple and then this orange on top. And it just continues all along the car. So you can see purple underneath. I really like the B-posts here where there's a lot of purple, and then it kind of goes up onto the roof. So I'm hoping if we buff that, some more of that will come through. I think it looks really neat. You can see it goes all the way along down there, and then there's that 3 layers of paint again. And then I was talking about the cowl. You can see how jacked up that is. So I'd like to probably cut one out of another car. I think would be the most economical way, rather than buying a whole new one because it goes down to the firewall. The replacement one does. So that'll be neat to replace at some point. So back when we first picked up the car, my dad hit this fender with the buffer and just some compound we had on the shelf over here. See if anything would happen. You could tell there's actually a reflection and a shine. So that's what I would like throughout the rest of the car. Like I said, this was just like a quick job to see if anything would happen. So I'm gonna go over this again, see if it'll turn out any better, because I just did like that section. But there used to be a bunch of like black paint marks, and there was some scratches here, and a lot of that actually did come out. So I'm hoping it'll do the same thing throughout the car, the little stuff. But you can see on this fender right here, there's no shine. This reflection from the light, like on the corner or anything, nothing. So hopefully I can get that throughout the rest of the car. First things first though is I gotta pull the car outside and completely wash it because it is filthy. There's dirt everywhere. If I'm gonna buff it, I obviously don't want that. There's even dirt all the way in there. So yeah, gonna go through, wash the entire thing, and then you guys can see what it'll look like with water on it and what I am going for. Alright, so I'm working now on washing the car, and you can see here, that area, that's kind of the shine that I want. So it looks kind of like a gloss, but it looks really cool on the purple like that. So hopefully I can get it to something close like that. Be nice with a reflection like that. So I'm gonna go through, finish washing off the car, get all the dirt and junk off the bottom. Might as well do that since I'm washing it. And then it's on to letting it dry. Hopefully the compound will show up for the buffer today, and I can start on the fenders. All right guys, what's going on? It is next day after yesterday, tomorrow. Yesterday I got the car washed and stuff, and then I got a little distracted. Took the bumper off because I'm repainting the bumper brackets and cleaning up some stuff. And my compound didn't show up until last night, so got that in, and I started doing a couple spots last night, and I've done a little spot on the roof this morning. So exactly what I'm using here is some Meguiar's Ultra Pro 110. A couple people recommended this, and I saw a couple of videos where people used this exact product on patina, and it turned out pretty well. So I'm pretty excited to use it. It works pretty well from the little spots I've done. So I'll flip the camera around and show you a little more about this, what I've got done, and the buffer I'm using. So this is the compound I'm using. Just showed you guys that works pretty well so far. So once I do a couple passes on spots, we'll see what it can really do. And then right here, this is the buffer, just what we had. It works really well so far, and I like using it. I couldn't even tell you how old it is, but there's the box. I mean, look at that hair, man. So my dad's had this for a while, I'd say, but it does the job and it works pretty well. So up here, start doing some of the roof, you can see now there's actually a reflection, whereas over here and stuff, it's super dull. So this B-post here, and then I kind of did up towards the roof, climb up here, you can see the difference, the line right there. So you can see where it's dull right here, it gets pretty shiny. And doing this, a lot of the purple is coming through, and I really like that. So you can see there's a good amount of purple here and stuff. There was more on this B-post to begin with, but now it's like brighter. I think it looks really cool. Come over to this one here, you can see the purple, how it's dull and stuff still. So I cannot wait to get to buffing this side. Other than that, I'm just gonna go ahead, continue on with the roof here, do a couple passes, and then I'm just rubbing in some of this turtle wax, wax and dry stuff. Once I go through and buff it, seems to be working pretty well. And then I'll pull it out in the sun and see if there's any swirl marks. Sure, there's gonna be some, so I'll probably go through and polish it later, but so good so far. All right, little update. It has been a couple hours now, and as you can see, there's somewhat of a reflection and shine in the paint. So I have pretty much everything up to the stickers done. I got pretty close to the stickers. I didn't want to get too close and hit them because I hit them with acetone a while back on accident because there's some overspray here. And yeah, you can see what happened. I just don't want to risk ruining it. So I'll have to do all that by hand with a rag. Not a big deal. There was an area here where it looked like somebody like spray painted this here orange, and it looked kind of goofy, but that blended really well. So I am happy with that. The door turned out super good. Like from this body line and down, it used to look like there was like dirt dripping. And I always thought that was it. So I'd go through, you know, wash it, soap and water and stuff, and it would still be there. So I buffed that out and that is gone. I'll show you what I mean when I get to the other side because it's on the other door as well. Other than that, up here looks really nice. Don't mind all the holes that somebody drilled in the door when they went to attach the mirror. That is pretty messed up, and I'll probably go through and weld it one day, but man, that's not good. Did the quarter here, all this trim throughout there, and then this top section turned out really nice. So you can see all this purple here starting to come through. Oh man, that looks really cool. That's what I was hoping for. All right, I just got the car outside so we can get some sunlight on it, see what this really looks like. And this is the side I have not done yet. So this is the dull flat side. This is what I didn't want. If you come over here, you can see the difference. It's hard to tell in pictures, but bam. That's why I want to make a video so you can really see, but I'm happy with that because now there's actually a reflection. You can see that. Whereas over there, there's nothing. There's a nice shine to it, so happy with that. It's probably my favorite part because of all the purple there and on the roof. Really wanted some of the purple to come through, and it looks really good. You see the bottom of the door here is nice and clean and one color and shiny, because if we go look at the other side here, you can see all of that nastiness. Now I thought that was dirt, but after I wash it multiple times, it turns out it's not. That's just the way it is. So on to buffing this side and hopefully making the car look like the other side. Went ahead and just did this piece right here. I don't know the actual name of it, but the bar underneath the grill here, it turned out really nice. It'll focus. You could see the first layer of orange underneath is really cool, and then there's like this crud. I tried buffing that and some of it came off, most of it didn't, but man, that orange is really nice there, especially that right there. The reason I did that is because I had the bumper off. I was painting bumper brackets, so I figured I'd just do this, throw the bumper back on now. And a little bit of unfortunate news is the pad, I think, got caught on this corner right here, and yeah, you guys can see what happened there. So looks like I want people to get this side of the car done tonight. So I'll just have to get a new one of these pads and finish up maybe tomorrow. So the trunk here is pretty dull, and I just went and put a piece of tape right in the middle here, and then I did like 3/4 on this side, because I wanted to see the true difference between the two, and you can really see the difference. This looks like it has clear coat on it, whereas this does not. So now that that is done, I'm gonna go through, buff and wax this section, because everything under there and over there is complete. The only reason I did that is because I was waiting on some filler to dry, because I went ahead and welded up the holes by the mirror here, just put some filler on it. I'm gonna have to go through and rebuff the door one more time, then I'll wax it. So while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead, finish up buffing and waxing that one part, come through, sand this, paint it, and then I'll get back to this side. So the fender is totally complete, and this turned out way better than I could have thought. I don't know if it's gonna look as good on camera, but the reflection right here is really, really nice. I think it's so cool that you can see the orange, the primer, some metal, you know, the orange on top, and then the purple underneath. You can see all the layers of paint. That looks really cool. It actually looks like there's clear coat on that layer right there, but this orange underneath, all throughout the car, that is really nice. I'm pretty sure that is the original color. Not totally sure. I think it is. Then I went ahead and just buffed the cowl. It turned out really nice. Some more purple showed up on this side, which is pretty sweet, along with that side. So I got the wax drying on that right now, along with the A-post here. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the car outside so I can get started on the other side. Well, it's been a couple hours since the last update, but the roof, so you can see, is completely done. There's a really nice reflection that turned out super nice. B-pillar here is totally done. I mean, look at that reflection, it's so good. This was pretty rough, and so is the door. I'll show you why in a second, but this, did all this by hand because the buffer pad ripped. I got it caught on the front corner over there, and I just said, you know what, instead of waiting for one to show up from Amazon, just do it by hand. And I have to say, I think it's turning out better than all the stuff I did with the buffer on the other side. I don't know, maybe just because I put a lot more work into it, but it turned out really nice. Up here was a struggle too, because as you can see, all this oxidation right here, it looks like something was like, you know, dripping down. I kid you not, it was all the way across the quarter right there. So that turned out really, really nice. So happy with that. And then the top of the door sill here, man, that is so good. Oh man, really happy I decided to go through and do this, and then did up to about the door handle on the door. So I have all the way there left to do. So maybe I'll get it done tonight, but it's getting pretty dark, so we'll see. All right, now that I got it inside, last video for the day, but I wanted to see what it looked like under the lights here. And just stepping back, you can totally tell that this fender here is different than the rest of the car, and that's a good thing. So I'm very, very happy with it. It's kind of a side-by-side. I like this because it's a lot darker, whereas the dull and like flat, I don't know, it was lighter kind of. Man, that looks so good. It's a couple swirl marks on the trunk here still that I gotta figure out, so I'll probably just buff that out with a rag tomorrow. Other than that, check out that roof. Oh man, this looks so good. Definitely was the right move to go ahead and buff the car. So until tomorrow. All right, last fender here, last part on the car that it needs to be buffed. Gonna go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll pull the car outside, see what this thing looks like in the sunlight. Well, it is now a few days later, and when I say few days later, that's like a week and a half. Yeah, week and a half, because right after I finished buffing the entire thing, we got a little distracted with putting in the seats and painting the floor and just finishing up a couple little other things. So we cleaned out the garage and stuff one day, had all the cars parked outside, and then a bunch of rain came through, so car got a little bit dirty, and from driving around, you know, got a little bit dirty. So went through and just washed it again so I can show you guys what the buffing and waxing totally looks like clean in the sun. So after much time spent on buffing and waxing the entire thing, like I said, I just washed it. I'd say it's a huge difference from before. You guys saw kind of when we were in the process, so you can see like a before and after at the same spot, because it's always hard to tell if you have a before picture and an after picture instead of seeing them, you know, side by side. So the thing I am really happy with is how this orange here, especially below this line right here, came out like so well. It's such a solid color now. Like you guys saw before how oxidated it was, and it was pretty messed up, along with the quarter all the way throughout there. I'd say it turned out pretty well. One of the coolest parts for sure is the tops of the two fenders here, because you can really see all three layers of paint. There we go, get it in the sun, and just nice reflection. A lot of this purple started to come back and like come through the orange, so I think it looks really nice. I think I've only mentioned that like in every clip. But this side here is for sure the better side. Here, it kind of looks like glass actually, and really nice reflection. I like how you can see the metal through. Sure, that'll surface rust eventually. Might actually go through and just clear coat that strip. Not totally sure yet. That is not the point of this video here. All right, well, the roof here is probably the best part of the car. The roof and the B-pillars over there, which sucks because you'll never see the roof, but is what it is. It's honestly pretty low. You can see a good amount of it, but I like how all this purple here started to come through, and it just polished up really nice. There's a lot of just marks and scratches up here on the roof that all came out pretty easily actually. And then the B-post here, obviously where the most purple is, that looks really nice. And if you look at it, I don't know if you're able to tell on camera, but if you look at it real closely with the sun directly on it, there is a teeny tiny bit of metallic, or a little flake in the orange there. The trunk here also turned out way better than I thought it would, especially with all this purple behind the spoiler here. You can't see it because there's shadow on it right now, but that looks nice. And then the orange on it is just such a solid color. It looks really good. And then right here is where we had that third brake light, where the 3 holes, and I primed it, and then I had to go through and blend the paint. It didn't look the best, I want to say, when it wasn't buffed. You can still tell there's some paint there, but it definitely blends a lot better than it was before when it wasn't buffed. So I learned from this, applied that to the quarter panel and doing that section on the door over there, and now those blend perfectly. As we kind of make a full circle on the car here, a little tour, we're gonna go to the doors here up on top. That purple was not there before. Looks nice. You can see all 3 layers once again there. That's probably my favorite part about buffing the car, is how you can see more of the purple come through. Like I said, I've only mentioned it like a million times at this point, but I'm just so excited with the way it turned out. Have to keep bringing it up. This little section here, that looks pretty neat. This door turned out really nice also. No more oxidation on the bottom. Obviously there wasn't any on the quarters, but right here and all along this door was pretty rough. So happy with the way that turned out, and that's pretty much the full tour of the entire car after buffing and waxing it all. Well, that's gonna do it for this video here. I know it wasn't the most informational or entertaining video in the world, but I wanted to make a video about something because I haven't made one in a while, I felt, and this was the perfect opportunity here. So I hope you guys think the car looks as good buffed than before when it was pretty dull and flat. I think it looks a million times better. And we'll see how long it actually lasts. So put a lot of work into doing the entire car here. I had to do second half by hand because the buffer pad, you know, ripped, all that good stuff. But I think waxing it should preserve it for a little while, and who knows, maybe one day after we go through, fix some of the things on the body I want to fix, little tiny pieces of rust, maybe I'll clear coat it.